Alright, I'm back. This is Nathan Lamont at Evergreen Woodworking, and I'm in my garage, which is my workshop for the most part. I started out doing most of my woodworking stuff in my apartment on the second floor, on a third floor building, and it was usually in my spare bedroom, and I just had some fun working on a few carvings. Got into woodworking later on, got into more woodworking, and now I'm into tool cleaning. I clean my tools up. I generally clean them for other people too. But I am now settled in a house and have plenty of room to do this, but I will say that you could do this anywhere. You do not have to have a house. You do not have to have a shop. You can do it on your couch if you wanted to. Lay a tarp down and do it there. Do it on your kitchen counter. You don't need to have it. You don't have to have a workbench or any space to do it at. That's why I do it, because it's so easy. Okay? I'm going to apply the wax on this planer and show you what it looks like with a good wax. This one in the previous episode had so much pitting and rust spots that it's really worthless. So all I'm doing is applying wax. Usually if it would have thick pittings like this, for example on this one, it's on the back side, the thick pit, and I dug it out with my dental tool. I dug out the rust, because you want to take out that rust. I'm going to fill it in with a little bit of epoxy and keep it square surfaced, and then I'll apply wax, buff it up, and it will look good, and it will work. This one, however, will not work because of the fact that I have so many divots right here on the edge of the mouth. I have here, and all this will be good for is for show on the shelf, because these divots right here on the back side I could sand out, put a little bit of surfacing on, or epoxy surfacing, and then it'll be fine later on. These ones down here, these I can't sand out, because all that's going to do is it's going to sand a little like slot here, and this straight edge is what you're going to need to plane with. So that's basically, it'll be a round piece right here, and it just won't be worth anything. And because when you go to plane, you're going to leave a gap, and it's going to be a rise spot, or it's going to pick up the wood, it's going to scrape the wood with these pivots, are going to scrape it. No matter how much surfacing I do, it's going to be worthless. So let me shine in the light a few times so you see the ones I'm talking about. Not sure if you can see the pivots. There's tons of them here, and then there's a couple here and here. So anyways, I'm using a cloth wash rag. Okay, don't use microfiber because it's not going to work. Took a chunk of my Johnson's Paste Wax, which you can find at just about any local hardware store, Lowe's, anywhere like that, and you just apply a nice thick coat on the body of it on the front, because when this dries, then I'm going to take a soft spot which isn't wet with paste wax and buff it real good in there. So I'm going to take this, I'm going to hold on to the pin here. I'm going to take that off of my finger. I'll apply it to this side and apply it around the sides here. Now the reason I use wax and none of those other types of solutions is because wax is good for wood and steel. It gives it a nice smooth surface, so it'll go across the wood nice. If you have wooden handles such as these ones, or wooden handles on your saws like this, or measuring gauges such as this, or even just wooden planers such as this one, your wax is not going to ruin the color of that wood. It's it's also going to give a very nice slick surface for these planers and any other surface type of tool that you use, such as a gouge or something, like this gouge right here. This gouge, I made the handle, I heated up the handle end and put it into the handle, into the wood, but this gouge itself I got for free from a guy who's just getting rid of some stuff, and I got this one and I thought, well, he said he had nothing to do with it. He didn't know what he was going to do with it because it was rusted and it was nothing. It didn't have a handle. So what did I do? I took it home, made a handle, which took about 5 seconds. This is out of a piece of a tree, out of a tree branch. Drilled a hole, slammed it in there. Good little gouge. Sharpen the bit, or the tip of it. So anyways, we'll go back to the planer here. I should have given it some good time to dry. I'll take a piece that doesn't have anything on it, and I'll just put some nice even pressure in there. Circle, just like Karate Kid, wax on, wax off. I'll put a nice buff into it. And if you feel on your finger it gets warm, then you're putting the right amount of pressure in. If you feel it getting hot, then you're in the wrong type of pressure. But you want it to get slightly warm, because what you want to do is you want this wax to fill every crack, crook, and cranny. So we'll go around here, and we'll go across here. Now remember, this here is an antique, and most of your planers that you're going to get, you're not going to be able to shine it up this shiny. Okay, this is a fairly new model. This is a very old model. And then this right here is a practically brand new model. This thing was made in the US, came with a kit when I was a kid, which would have been about 26 years ago. But this came with a woodworking kit. I've had it ever since, and I think it was 86, 87 that this was made. These kits doesn't even have, it just has a sticker on it. It doesn't even have the actual name placed inside of the steel. It just has a sticker on it, which I kept it ever since. But if you notice, it's like brand new. Paint's not even chipped. There's no pivots. There's no rust. It's basically just for show because I've had it for so long. And it cuts pretty good because it's a brand new blade. I mean, I haven't needed to use it much, but it's good. This one is a really old one. It's rusted. It's got pivots. It's not going to be shiny. I know that. And you should also be aware of that too, because if you go out to a hardware store and you see a planer on the stands that has brass on it, it's plated, it looks beautiful, you look at the price, it's $190 or more. Some of them are $500, $600. You go to your local antique store, you find a planer like this for $5–10 bucks. I think you're making a better deal than if you were going to go and buy a brand new one. But your money is your money, my money is mine. I personally like to invest in antiques, and sometimes, like this one I think I paid 20 bucks for. Okay? Generally, in a store at Woodcraft or places that sell planers like this, they're brand new, brass, everything. It's going to range about 500 bucks. 300 to 500 bucks. I paid 15. I cleaned this up for an hour, and usually my time is $15 an hour, so I think I made out pretty good. It's even better than going for $500. So generally, I'm going to say generally a lot, but most of the time it's worth it, because you cleaned it up. You can actually put this on the shelf and say, yeah, I bought that for $5 and I cleaned that thing up for nothing. Because most of the resources that I buy, like the Brasso, this bottle of Brasso is going to keep me for probably 8 months worth of tools. This thing of wax, I think I've had it for a year, and I've still barely even gotten through it. So the point is, your resources are going to be there for as long as you want, and then your tool will be there forever because you know it already has survived. And most of these tools are made in USA out of steel, but the newer ones are made out of aluminum because they're lighter. And they won't rust because they're made of aluminum, but they will dent. So if you drop them, they're worthless. And not a lot of people know that when they buy them. They think, oh yeah, I just bought this $500 tool.